Well, it's that time again. Let's walk in faith, talk about anime, and grow together. Welcome to Revs Otaku Talk. Hey Otaku family, welcome back to Revs Otaku Talk, where faith and fandom collide. I'm your host Rev, and joining me is my wife and co-host Raver Mom.
Hello.
And together we'll venture into the world of anime through the lens of Christian values. Whether you're a seasoned otaku or just starting your anime journey, this is a place where we blend our love for all things anime with a walk in Christ. Join us as we explore thought-provoking themes, inspiring stories, and tackle the deeper connections between our favorite shows and our faith. It's all about finding God's truth in the worlds we love. This is your Christ Walk with Otaku Talk. Let's get started. Today is a special episode because this is the first episode with just my wife and myself hosting. Over the past month or so, Raver Mom and I have been talking about our favorite Dragon Ball universe characters, Vegeta and Bulma. The more we talked about these two awesome characters, the more we discussed how much Vegeta changed throughout the episodes. And that is where this week's episode comes from. Come along with us as we journey into the world of Dragon Ball and learn the true honor from the life of Vegeta. It goes without introduction, but Dragon Ball was created by the late, great Akira Toriyama. The Dragon Ball franchise is one of the most iconic and influential in the world of anime and manga. Created by Akira Toriyama, it follows the adventures of Goku, a young boy with a monkey tail and an extraordinary strength, as he embarks on a quest to find the mystical Dragon Balls, 7 magical orbs that can summon a dragon capable of granting any wish. The franchise is divided into several series and story arcs, starting with Dragon Ball, then Dragon Ball Z, and then the uncanon Dragon Ball GT, onto Dragon Ball Super, and now Dragon Ball Daima. The Dragon Ball franchise is filled with rich characters, thrilling action, and timeless themes like friendship, rivalry, and self-improvement. It has spawned numerous films, video games, spin-offs, and merchandise, becoming a global phenomenon. At its core, the series explores Goku's journey of personal growth, his never-ending quest to become stronger, and his love for his friends, family, and the Earth he protects. With its lasting impact on pop culture, Dragon Ball continues to inspire fans around the world, and its iconic moments such as the Kamehameha, Super Saiyan transformations, and the Dragon Balls themselves remain beloved to this day. As we just heard, there are many great qualities, lessons, and morals portrayed in the Dragon Ball universe. For this episode, we are going to talk about the meaning of honor through the life of Vegeta. Vegeta, the proud prince of the Saiyan race, holds honor in high regard, but his understanding of it evolves significantly throughout the Dragon Ball series. Early on, Vegeta's concept of honor is deeply tied to his Saiyan pride, which revolves around his strength, dominance, and survival. We see his honor as a reflection of his ability to be the strongest warrior and leader of his people. Even though the Saiyan race has been destroyed, the sense of honor is rooted in arrogance and ruthless desire to be the best, exemplified by his early battles against Goku and other powerful foes. For much of Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta's actions are driven by his desire for power and desire to avenge the fall of his planet. At this point, he often disregards the well-being of others in favor of his personal quest for strength and revenge. His honor is primarily about achieving superiority over others, with little consideration for the moral implication of his actions. However, as the series progresses, Vegeta's understanding of honor begins to shift, especially after forming bonds with his allies, particularly Goku and his family. His rivalry with Goku, once about proving his own superiority, transforms into a more respectful acknowledgement of Goku's strength and determination. Vegeta starts to honor in the form of personal integrity and sacrifice for others. His commitment to protecting his family, Earth, and friends begins to outweigh his desire for personal glory. In the later arcs of Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta's view of honor becomes more complex and nuanced. He recognizes the importance of fighting for the greater good and starts to embrace selflessness and courage. Vegeta battles against threats like Frieza, Majin Buu, and Beerus, and reveals his growing sense of responsibility as a protector, not just as a warrior. His pride is no longer about sheer strength or dominance, but about being strong, honorable protector of his loved ones. By the end of the series, Vegeta's view on honor is characterized by a balance between his Saiyan pride and the lessons he's learned about loyalty, humility, and the importance of fighting for what truly matters. He no longer seeks honor merely through victory, but through his actions, protecting those he cares about and growing as a person. I want to look at 2 verses, the first one being Proverbs 21:21 that says, "Whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor." And then when we turn to Romans 12:9 through 13, it says, "Love must be sincere, hate what is evil, cling to what is good, be devoted to one another in love, honoring one another above yourself. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality." Now, after all that, Raver Mom, you have an interesting situation on how you take the transformation of Vegeta when it comes to honor, because you watched the first 3 seasons of Dragon Ball, which is when we meet Vegeta and we go through the whole fighting Frieza and Vegeta thing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've watched where he is now, watching little excerpts from Dragon Ball Super and now Dragon Ball Daima. What is your take on how Vegeta shows biblical honor?
Thanks for outing me that I haven't watched that much Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball. That's awesome. How he, like, his transformation throughout. Well, I think honestly, in all of the episodes, I think he shows honor in, like each series, even from the beginning. But I think his purpose for honor changes, which then is what changes him. I mean, because you can have honor in yourself and honor in what you do. I mean, because he obviously did, because he was trying to be the biggest and the baddest in the beginning. But whenever his focus and his purpose changed, I think that honor in his family and friends kind of outweighed all the other purposes in his life.
Yeah, and really, I think, a lot of the honor and the way he acts, a lot of people can put toward Goku and their rivalry because of the fact that he goes from trying to push his superiority to respecting Goku as someone to help build himself stronger, but he can also help Goku get stronger.
Yeah. Isn't the way, like, to be the best Super Saiyan, isn't that like a solo journey?
They would have you think that, but if you go back, they did a movie that was on Goku's father. It was before Frieza destroyed the Saiyan planet, and that's how they were. They would have children, and the children would be separated from them. The parents would have nothing to do with the kids.
Right.
They were a warrior race, so they would go off and they would fight battles. But as we watch that generation, Super Saiyan was a myth. No, but there was no Super Saiyan on that planet. Nobody was able to reach that level. And whenever the planet was destroyed, you see a little bit of a Superman thing going on because they stick Goku in a ball and they send him to Earth.
Right.
Yeah, planet Krypton blowing up. They put Kal-El into a gym ball and they throw him to Earth. So very similar, right? But as that happened, Goku's dad saw a glimpse into the future right before his death. Like your life flashes before your eyes.
Yeah.
His son's life flashed before his eyes.
Oh.
And he saw what his son was going to turn into. And then you saw a honor shift in Goku's dad in that brief moment because his pride went away from me being a Saiyan, I'm a warrior,
Right.
to, whoa, my son is going to do this. I'm proud of my son.
Yeah.
And I have only looked through him through some glass a little bit and left because
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with this kid.
Right.
But his honor changed very quick right there. And at that point, his father was viewed as the strongest on the planet. So you go to Goku on Earth, and he's been there for forever. Growing up, he was, by the time we hit Dragon Ball Z, I think we're in his late 20s. So he spent about 20 years on Earth at that point. And whenever Vegeta shows up, he looks at him through the Saiyan scanner, and Goku's power ends up surpassing all of them. But the difference between Vegeta and Goku at that point is that Goku had something to fight for.
Well, that's why I was asking, because like as they are being raised, it makes me think of like the Spartans or like those kinds of cultures when they're raising especially like their the boys. The whole thing is to be the biggest, the baddest, no matter who you kill off, no matter who you beat, at a very young age. And there's no, what do you call it? Like there's no personal relationships. Like all the feel goods, all the cupcakes and rainbows is taken out of it. And so like Vegeta doesn't know any of that.
Nope.
And Goku does, because he's been living on the human world. And if you notice, one thing, I was reading an article the other day about that. It was a whole thing that someone brought up the fact that Goku, one of the things that they were saying was that Goku was more powerful than Vegeta, is because of the fact that he had that experience growing up. He had that human part, those personal feel goods, the cupcakes, the rainbows, the ups, the downs, those personal relationships where Vegeta didn't. But as Vegeta got that, that was one of the reasons why he softened up and stuff like that. He was able to find that same honor that Goku had, which could very well be it, because he started realizing that life wasn't all about being the biggest and the baddest, but it was about, being there for his friends, and then being there for Bulma, and then being there for his kids. And I mean, was he always like that? Probably not. But I mean, even us human parents are not like that. Sometimes we mess up. But he was still a protective father, and he was still a protective husband. He cared for the people that meant a lot to him. And I think that even though he found it later on in life, he still found it.
Well, that's where I was getting, trying to get to, and you went straight into it, which is exactly, it flows, is that rivalry only took him so far. But as the story progresses, and where Bulma is my favorite character, okay?
I mean, why not? Blue hair, come on now.
You remind me of Bulma.
Thanks.
In the essence of her role in his life, and how she helped him grow up.
She didn't put up with his crap either. Like, how do you say it? Like, she looked past all of his flaws because she knew how he really was.
Well, he was a giant 20-something-year-old Saiyan baby.
Pretty much, just like you.
Oh, jeez, thanks. But you see in the show where there's certain parts where Vegeta is being stubborn, and it was even before they got married. And Bulma would be like, "You're coming with me, and we're doing this.
Yeah.
You need to chill your butt out. You need to get over yourself. Come on, Vegeta, let's go."
Yeah.
And
yeah, she'd call him out.
The real change to me came with Bulma. And it comes, I mean...
Yeah, but if you think about it, if he didn't have those interactions and that rivalry and stuff with Goku, oh my lord. Goku. Can I just call him Kakarot? Because I love that one better.
Yes, you can call him Carrot.
I think that if he didn't have all those other relationships prior to Bulma, he would not have responded the way he did with her. I feel like like the rivalry and all of what Goku had on him, along with the other ones after, were like the stepping stones to get to the point where Bulma was. And, and then he was kind of like softened up almost enough to where Bulma could be like, all right, Vegeta, just let's go. Like, shut up and let's go. And because if he wouldn't have saw all of that with Goku, if he wouldn't have saw all of that with the others, he probably would have been like, no, I'm going to beat your tail, and reacted the same way. Because he never had all the relationships and the cupcakes and feel-goods and rainbows and, human interactions and all of that. Like, he probably would have killed her. I mean, that was probably his mindset, like, you're in my way, you're telling me what to do, and I'm bigger and better than you, so shut up, But because of the fact that he met Goku, like, he had all of that, he was kind of like, all right, fine, let's go, But he would not have done that. Like, he had to get to a point for Bulma to be able to reach that part.
Yeah, what's crazy to see, like going into Dragon Ball Super, is how far he's willing to lower himself. This guy likes to put himself on a pedestal. He still wants to be the biggest and the baddest, but he's humble enough to say he's not.
Yeah.
But whenever they introduced Beerus, and Beerus basically invited himself to the party, because they were having Bulma's birthday party, and the prospect of everybody being destroyed, especially his wife, because his wife had a big mouth, and he was willing to lower himself enough to where he starts singing and dancing, and he starts serving Beerus on his hands and feet, basically, lowering himself to that point. And it wasn't to save everybody at the party.
No.
It was to save one person, and that was his wife.
Yeah.
And, and of course, Trunks, but Trunks is part Saiyan. So Trunks, his ability made him a little less susceptible to being in danger than what Bulma's was.
Yeah, because Bulma's human.
So to see him go from a place where he wouldn't lower himself to anybody to lowering himself to his knees.
Well, that's like and if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about Daima. The newer episodes, and I didn't know that this was part of Daima because the video that I watched, it was all covered up and I couldn't see. So I found out later when I sent it to you that it was a spoiler. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what happens at Daima, then you might want to pause this and go watch it and then come back. But
or just skip ahead.
Yeah, you can skip too. But the part where what intrigued me about that video is the fact that, so like Dragon Ball, Vegeta's not listening to anybody. He don't care who it is. He's not going to listen and follow instructions. He's not going to back down from a fight. He is in it until he dies.
Yep.
To that episode where he is like, all right, I'm going to do this first. And Goku goes, okay, whatever, go ahead and have at it. Well, they're all trying to figure out how to get him to stop fighting because they found out the secret to beat the adversary. And Bulma's like, all right, I got this. And she says what she says. And he immediately stops.
Yeah.
To me, that is like, I honor and respect that relationship so much that I'm going to quit what I love to do because of you. Like, to me, that was like...
It's an I love you more moment.
Yeah, like, he literally chose her over his passion. He chose her, and his moments with her. He was raised to fight, and he chose the love of his life over everything else. And to me, that was like, aww, hearts all over the place, That was so cute and adorable. But, I mean, from the very beginning, Vegeta, he would have never have done that. So, it was, I mean, and I didn't give that many, I guess I didn't give that much spoiler. But, anyways.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was kind of cool. It does, Daima makes it to where I'm like, okay, now I want to know what happens in all the other ones. So, I will do my best and suffer through all, what is it, 4, whatever.
Oh, you're trying to see how many arcs there are?
Yes.
So, yeah, 4 canon arcs and 1 not canon arc.
Oh, my goodness.
So...
Don't tell me how many episodes. I don't want to know. I'm serious, don't tell me, or I won't do it. I'm struggling through One Piece as it is. So.
There's nowhere near as many episodes as One Piece.
Oh, good. Okay, we might get through it then.
Nowhere near it.
One Piece is a different conversation. But anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, if you see Vegeta in the first few seasons to what he is in Daima, I mean, complete 180.
Yeah.
Complete 180. It's crazy to think that's the same character because of the character developments. Mm-hmm. So big.
Yeah, I'm not, as I've already voiced, I'm not a huge fan of Super so far. Just because of the fact that, like I said, it's all the movies with little fillers in the middle. So I feel like I've already watched the majority
of it. But if you don't watch the movies, then
it's
perfectly fine.
It's something that, you know, continues to flow and it continues the story. It gets mixed reviews. A lot of people like Super, especially those who are new to Dragon Ball. But then those who are not new to Dragon Ball,
like the diehard fans,
who have been watching it since the 80s, it isn't the greatest thing in the world because of the fact that the story seems to be squished, and it seems to be, it's like there's gaps, or they're not telling the whole story, or they're not embellishing where they should embellish. The feeling of, you know, the heart of Dragon Ball just isn't there for the most part. But the story of certain characters, on the other hand, are still pretty good.
Yeah.
Goku's story part in all of this, no surprise. There's no real surprise there. Honestly, the battle against Beerus was better in the movie than it was on the TV show. Because they completely rewrote how it happened.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to see 2 different types of battles, just watch them back to back, and that's probably the way it's going to be for the rest of them. It's going to be completely different from how they aired on the show from the way they made the movie.
I will say one thing that's impressive to me is how many arcs and movies and all of that there are, that the style stays the same. Does that make sense? Like the artwork and the feel of it, the just overall general idea of it. It all stays the same. Sometimes whenever you're going so long, if I'm not mistaken, Dragon Ball is the longest, one of the longest, or the longest, because
it's only one of them. It's not even really in the top, like, 4 or 5.
No, the longest spanning, like it's, no?
Yeah.
I thought I read something the other day that it was.
It's probably top 5.
So it's one of the longest.
It's one of the longest.
Yeah. That's what I said.
The longest one, I did a post on it, and I can't remember the name of the show right now.
I think we're thinking the same thing.
But there's a show that has...
Because it's like...
it has like...
Because it's 40 years, if I'm not mistaken, right?
They started the show in the 60s.
No, Dragon Ball. It's been about 40 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's my point.
Well,
over... No. Yeah, you said 80s.
Yeah, it's late 70s, early 80s is whenever the anime came out.
So 40 to 50 years.
Yeah.
So, but that my point still stands. Like, over that amount of time, like, not much has changed on it.
Yeah, I think where I'm kind of off from you is that after Dragon Ball Z, there was like a 10 to 20 year gap from them making a new
Oh, well,
new series.
that's going to happen, though, sometimes.
Where you have like One Piece, who is taking this 6-month break. That is like, what in the world? You've been going strong since 1998.
They had to rack their brains again.
Um, and then you have like the other show. It's killing me that I don't remember the name of the show. That's been going on since like 1969. And it has thousands of episodes. I mean, literal thousands.
If you know what it is, comment.
Well, like I said,
Write a comment.
it's on Revs
Send it to us.
It's on Revs Otaku Talkers. It's something that I put up there. It was just a piece of pop culture information, and the name, the date it started, it's still going, and what episode they're on is all in there.
Is it still the same, like Dragon Ball, though? Or has it changed?
Oh, it's still the same.
Still the same?
I have to say with Dragon Ball, they've gone more computer than they have hand-drawn now. The last movie, Dragon Ball Superheroes, I did not like the animation work.
All computer stuff?
All computer. And it was very 3D.
Not very honorable.
And the actors were talking it up because it was made for IMAX, which is probably the reason why it was made the way it was made.
Probably.
But
it's hard to watch an IMAX movie on a regular TV.
Even in IMAX, I don't think I would have liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, Dragon Ball Superheroes, the one that I watched in the theaters all by myself. Like, it was me in the middle of the theater with no one else there. I remember
you came home and you were so excited because you got the theater all by yourself. I was like, well, I guess, you know.
It was pretty awesome to be the only person in the movie theater because I was able to yell at the screen all I wanted.
Well, that made my gift so much better for you. And yes, I bought him the ticket and told him go see it so he could go see it by himself because I didn't want to suffer through it, and I'm glad.
And I legit saw it by myself because no one else was there. So it was pretty awesome, but the animation work it took me a while to get used to it because of the fact that I'm so used to seeing the hand-drawn stuff, or even in the earlier computer days for the animation of it, it was still very 2D.
Now, when did the creator pass away? You mentioned he was
last year. We are coming up on his 1-year anniversary.
I
of his
remember
death.
we had that conversation. I didn't know it was that recent.
Yeah, we're coming up on a year.
Which is when the last episode is supposed to come out, right, for Daima?
I believe the last episode is already aired. It just aired this week.
Well, it's supposed to air on the date of his passing.
And it's killing me because I don't know it, and I turned my phone off.
It's okay. So if you haven't seen Daima, go see it. It's pretty awesome.
Daima was his last work.
Yeah, I remember reading the article about it. It was pretty cool.
It was his final gift, and it's only like 20 episodes long. And that's it. And the purpose behind it, from what I can gather, is it's supposed to be between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. He hasn't quite made it to Super Saiyan God form yet.
Yeah, because he only went up to 4.
Yeah, he hadn't hit 4 yet either. Dragon Ball GT, the non-canon, is where he went Super Saiyan 4.
Oh, okay.
And what's funny is nobody really liked it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he only did the 3.
But nobody really liked it because it was not made in the studio in Japan with him. It was made here in the Funimation America studio. And all the characters are pretty much the same. There are certain parts of GT that I did like as compared to where Dragon Ball Super went. But there's certain things for Dragon Ball Super I think did a better job. But where it kind of irks me a little bit is the sheer fact that everybody dissed Super Saiyan 4 so bad. They thought it was the dumbest thing. And then on Daima, they bring out Super Saiyan 4.
Isn't that the one he did in the last episode I watched with you?
Yeah.
That's what I said. It came out, he did it in Daima.
Yeah, he did it in Daima, and I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. I will
Yeah, because-
admit that I was wrong. No.
He, because he did it because he was doing all of his, what do you call it, transformations,
Uh-huh.
as a diversion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that he was still able to go back to Super Saiyan 4 after he went into his adult form shocked everybody. But
He didn't look very cute. Why they had to put him like purple was weird.
yeah, he turns redheaded.
It's not red. It was purple.
It's red.
Oh my goodness.
Trust me. If he was in
It was like
blue
a
sunlight,
fuchsia.
it's red.
It was like fuchsia.
Dragon Ball GT, his hair was black. The rest of the hair on his body and stuff went red. You know, kind of like my beard and my hair.
I know.
But in Dragon Ball Daima, it was all red.
It looked fuchsia. So, you know.
But the sheer fact that he brought out Dragon Ball, or he brought out Super Saiyan 4, and now people are like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Yeah.
And then
When
you've got
before
you've got the diehard guys who are like, "This is horrible. How does this fit into the story?"
Yeah.
And then you got the guys who are like, "I didn't like Dragon Ball Super anyway."
Yeah.
It sparked a lot of controversy whenever he went Super Saiyan 4.
Well, it's also the generations.
Yeah.
The different generations. You're going to have different outtakes on that. So,
Yeah. So I mean,
just get over it, boys.
it's one of
And
those
girls.
things where you can tell the generation of the person watching by how they feel about it.
Very much so.
And
Yeah, that'll happen whenever you've got something going over so many years like this. Especially when it's a very common. I mean, because I remember when I was little, Dragon Ball was Dragon Ball Z, DBZ, everybody, DBZ. Like that was so popular. So
yes, and there was always that one person running around going, Kakarot!
yes, I remember. No kidding. Yes, very much so. Tomlin Middle, in between, we had 6 minutes, and all of a sudden you would hear someone running down the hall, because all of our halls were, almost all of them were outside. And, yeah, I remember one time they did that. I was like, what the heck, man? Stupid.
No, it wasn't. They were having a good time.
They were, and I bet you they still do.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Out of all the characters, I like the continuation of the storyline of Vegeta and Bulma and Trunks.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing how Vegeta has changed.
Mm-hmm. His character development is pretty awesome.
The one thing that I did like was Vegeta doesn't like going on vacation. His version of a vacation is going in the training room, upping the gravity, and getting stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But he made a promise to Trunks that he would go on vacation with them. So against everything in him, he went on vacation.
Aww.
And he is trying his hardest to enjoy himself.
Mm-hmm.
But little things are irking him.
Not a surprise.
And it gets to a point where they're at a celebration, almost like a Hawaiian thing, where they got the guy spinning the fire and,
yeah,
flaming poi and stuff like that. And they start picking, the guy on stage starts picking on Vegeta.
Oh, gosh.
And
Wrong
Vegeta
person.
finally goes off.
Yeah.
And he says he is done. And he flies off and leaves Bulma and Trunks there.
Aww.
And he is going to go do his thing. And you could tell the way Bulma has changed because of the fact that she goes, I am surprised he lasted as long as he did.
Yeah.
And then they were both like, it was very nice to have him on vacation with us.
Aww.
And they were just happy at the fact that he lasted like a day or two at the most.
Oh. Well, because I'm sure they understood how difficult it was for him,
But
which is awesome.
the fact that he was there, and he even said, "I am here because I made a promise to my kid."
Yeah.
You don't see Goku doing anything like that.
No. Goku sent his son with Piccolo.
Piccolo took him.
There was one video I saw the other day, and it made me think of you. Bulma had the baby. I don't remember which one it was, but Bulma had the baby. And everybody was like goo goo gaga over the baby. And they were each grabbing it and cuddling it or whatever. And it's so cute. And literally, like, one person holds it, and then another person holds it, and then another person. And then there was one character that held it, and I honestly couldn't tell you the name of the character.
It was Yamcha.
No, there was one before Yamcha. There was, I don't remember which one it was.
I think it was Krillin.
It could have been. Oh, yeah, I think it was. And the baby started crying, and Vegeta is standing far off in front of everybody because he doesn't like the feel goods. He's not going to show off anything like that. And as soon as the baby starts crying, he powers up, and they're all like, "Are we under attack?" Like, they freak out because he powered up. But it was in response to his child, and that was like, aw. And then Yamcha comes in, and after I think it was Goku held the baby for a little bit,
Yes,
and then Yamcha comes in.
Vegeta doesn't like Yamcha because Yamcha is Bulma's ex-boyfriend.
No, but he was okay. He was fine.
Yeah.
Until the baby started crying again, and he powered up again, and Yamcha freaks out, and it's like, "Are we under attack again?" And I'm just like, the response, like, I mean, literally, the things they were saying to the baby and about the baby was annoying me, and I'm a mom of 4. But like, it was at the point where he put up with it, but as soon as the baby started getting upset, he went into protective mode, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cute."
And you'll never see Goku do that.
No, complete different.
What's funny is
which is crazy.
You won't see Goku do that, but you'll see Gohan do it.
Yeah.
You'll see his son do it.
Yeah.
You won't see Goku do that.
But Goku was treated like a normal Saiyan son, wasn't he? He was taken.
He was a baby whenever he left. So whenever he came down to Earth and he was with Grandpa Gohan on Earth, he was tiny.
Who was?
Goku.
I know. I'm saying when Goku's son.
Yeah.
Because Piccolo took him.
Piccolo took him because Goku disappeared.
But I'm saying Goku's son was raised like a Saiyan, like it would have been on Saiyan, on the world, right?
On the Saiyan world, yeah, pretty much.
So he's not. So it's Gohan, right? Goku's son is Gohan.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Gohan, the way Gohan acts, is not a surprise that he acts the same way as Vegeta, because Vegeta and him both were treated and raised the same way. Goku wasn't. Mm-hmm. So it's not a surprise that Gohan favors more of Vegeta's character than his own father.
That
no
was
offense, Goku's an idiot, so...
That's been a whole debate at how Goku lived on Earth, but his role in parenting is that of a Saiyan father.
Yeah.
But Vegeta was raised on the Saiyan planet, yet he takes the role more of a human father.
Yeah.
So... Yeah.
Well, I think it all points to how they started, because honestly, I think Goku takes advantage of things. He took advantage of Chi-Chi, being a loving wife who, turned her back on a lot to become his partner in life, and a mom and all of that. And Goku takes advantage of that. He's very ungrateful, and I'm not saying he doesn't love her. I'm sure he loves her, but I don't know. I think Vegeta sees what he didn't have, and because of that, I think that's where he becomes very, in his character development, I think he becomes grateful because he didn't have that, and that's what he wants to be, for his family. He might still act like a Saiyan and run off in the middle of vacation, but he's still, he's a lot more grateful and honorable and everything to the people that he loves versus Gohan, who honestly just probably takes advantage of it.
True.
Because when you have something, you don't know, you really don't know what you have until it's gone. And Vegeta didn't have it.
Nope.
And whenever you don't have it for a very long time, you're going to, you're going to put a lot more care and love and respect and honor and devotion. And those are my thoughts.
And good thoughts they are.
Why, thank you.
So before we move on to the next part of our episode, I want to take a moment of silence for the godfather of anime, Akira Toriyama, because as we are recording this, we are recording this just after the anniversary of his death. So I want to take a moment of silence for him, if we can. All right. Thank you, Mr. Toriyama, for all the memories and for the legacy that you left, because without Akira Toriyama, we wouldn't have the big three, which is Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. And from there, we wouldn't have many of the new animes that are out, like Demon Slayer, One Punch Man, you name it.
Yeah.
Without Akira Toriyama creating Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, the universe altogether, we wouldn't have the insanely great animes that we got.
Yeah, and all the characters and their lives to look at, so
Thank you, Akira Toriyama. All right, so we're going to our next part of the episode. We are going to do a question from a cup. It has been a while since we've done it, and I think it's about time we do. So, Raver Mom, grab a question.
Okay, well, I'm going to take the cup because my arms are short and I can't reach that far.
All right.
There you go.
What is your favorite anime? Oh, this is a loaded question. This is so a loaded question.
This is going to be a very hard question for Rev to answer if you saw his studio.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go first so you can think?
Please.
Okay. So, my all-time favorite is Soul Eater. Just because of the fact that is one of our first, that's the first anime that we watched together, and it is the first anime I watched all the way through, and have watched it twice all the way through. But I love the characters, the development of the characters. I love the art. So yeah, that's my favorite anime series. But honestly, my all-time favorite anime is anything Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
So
Miyazaki is awesome.
yeah, I love the movies. To me, they're beautiful to watch, and the storylines are awesome. So
Yeah, trust me, finding out that I'm only missing 4 to have the complete works of Ghibli is driving me nuts.
well, you're welcome to get you that far.
Yes, between mostly you and a little bit of my grandmother, I'm there. But I'm still missing 4,
You'll get them all.
which is a pain in the tush.
You'll get them all, because if you have them, that means I have them all. So,
Yep, that's right.
all right. Did I give you enough time to kind of pinpoint? At least give us your top
I'm gonna
3.
have to break this down a little bit.
Oh goodness! Don't waste our time. We don't need to hear it forever.
I would have to say my all-time favorite is Speed Racer.
Okay. Not a surprise.
That was my first anime. And to me, story-wise, in such a short amount of seasons, I think that it has the best storyline. It has
Pretty
enough
jam-packed.
back and forth so that you have the drama, you have the action, you have the comedy, the emotions are up and down. And I think really that laid the foundation for how a lot of animes are built.
It also helps that all of your children love Speed Racer as well.
Yes, that's because whenever they learn what anime is, it's Speed Racer, then Pokemon.
Yep.
And then from there, it just goes to whatever.
Whatever their favorites are.
But my all-time favorite, Speed Racer. And then I would have to say Dragon Ball Z. And then after that, it would have to be One Piece.
Okay, why One Piece?
It's Luffy.
Okay. I was going to say, because I feel like One Piece is a little different than Speed Racer and Dragon Ball Z.
It is a massively different feel. It's a massively different character type.
I mean, it still takes 10 episodes just to get through one fight, but you know.
Luffy, I like the fact that he's compassionate toward everybody. He doesn't care what anybody thinks.
Yeah, he accepts everybody. Yeah.
And he's going to accept you for exactly who you are. And if you are down on yourself, he's going to find a way to lift you up.
Yeah. I could see that. He how he acted towards Sanji and oh my goodness, his name escapes me. The not Zoro, the other one, the big poofy hair.
Oh, you mean with the long nose? Mm-hmm. Usopp.
I don't know why I can't remember that. How he treats Usopp and Sanji. How he looks past, you know, all of their flaws that they are trying to point out. You know, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. He's like, I don't care. I want you on my team. You know, like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's a pretty good character.
But as for an estranged anime that most people probably haven't heard of, and it's my favorite single season series. Just one-off season. It's maybe 13-ish episodes. Would have to be a anime by Project Blue called Earth SOS.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Initial D.
I like Initial D. I really do. But I don't like how they chopped it up and how it ended up.
Oh, okay. I thought the artist's work was in Initial D was pretty cool.
It's the stories. Once you hit stage 5, the story gets really it lags.
All over the place.
And then they have MF Ghost, which is the new series that continues Initial D, and it's the continuation of Project D. It was decent,
sense.
but the season leaves you wanting.
That's never good.
Yeah, and it's not, oh, I want another episode. It's, I want the rest of the story.
The answers, there's so many holes.
Yeah, it's
that makes
horrible.
sense.
So
that's
I'm
never
hoping,
a good thing for a franchise to leave holes like that.
Yeah, and it's taking them a year and forever to come out with the second season of that. So it's they whatever momentum they have in it, they're
probably
losing.
lost it. Yeah.
But yeah, Earth SOS is a really cool, randomly weird anime. It has a radio show feel. For me, it's like a mix between Independence Day, War of the Worlds, and Johnny Quest.
Oh.
Very old school feeling.
That's a good combination.
It's a very cool sci-fi type deal.
Yeah, that's a good combination. So if you like any of those three, Earth SOS.
Yes, and I lent my copy out to a buddy of mine, and I told him once he got done watching it, he was going to be on the podcast for the episode for Earth SOS.
Yeah.
So, if you're listening to this, dude, watch it.
Little birdie's telling you to watch it.
I can't wait for that episode. It's going to be really fun because it's an anime that most people haven't heard of. But it's really cool. I've got K2. I've got it on his watch list, so he watches it before it hits. And hopefully he watches it so we can get it back home so you can watch it. 'Cause it's not a long watch, but it's awesome.
Shorter than oh my goodness, what was that one? The name escapes me. Never mind.
I watched it in a day.
Shorter than Soul Eater.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You can watch Earth SOS in a day.
Okay. I can't. Are you kidding?
Well, with you 2 days.
Maybe 3.
But
Me and my
it
busy
does
self.
not take long to watch it.
Okay.
It's a really cool anime. So yeah, those would have to be, I guess, my top 4.
Do you have any that you would never want to watch again? I'm just curious. I've never asked you that one. Not that it was a bad one, just that you were like, I'm not interested in that. Or like you started watching it and again, not that it was like a flop or a bad one, just that you were just you weren't feeling it, I guess.
There are a few that I wouldn't watch again.
Because of just not your taste.
Yeah. Like, there's one very gory artwork. Story stunk on ice. It was a very adult anime. It's called Twilight of the Dark Master or something like that. It was a random one that I got for like $2 at a game store.
Oh.
It was at the beginning of our marriage when I grabbed it. It was at the way beginning of my anime collecting, whenever it came to movies. And I watched it once and I will never watch it again. It's horrible.
Like a B-rated movie.
Yeah, massively.
Okay.
But
some B-rated movies are good for people. Just not that one.
I would not recommend it to anybody who's an adult as per the content, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, adult or not, because it stank.
Gotcha.
It was horrible.
I gotta say one for me, though, that I would probably watch just to be able to watch it because we started it, is Death Note.
Yeah.
Only because for me that one was hard to follow. Has nothing to do with the storyline. I think the artwork was amazing. I think the characters were good. Just the storyline was for me was hard to follow. I'm gonna finish it because I started it and I don't like starting something and not finishing it.
It is definitely a darker anime.
Yeah.
The series itself isn't as long if you compare it to other ones. It's probably, I would say, double up on Soul Eater.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm gonna finish it. But like, I don't know. For me, it was not as easy to follow for me.
No, that's one of those things where you can't take a break.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll probably be one whenever our kids get older, and I don't have constant mom, and stuff to do. But
I would say,
but I love the artwork. I think the artwork is amazing.
Well, there's
with
a
some
lot
of those characters.
a lot of animes that I won't watch again that have fantastic artwork.
Yeah.
But either the content in it was just like needless.
Yeah.
To have
which is very sad.
Well, that's where the church doesn't like anime.
Yeah.
Is anime consists of what they call fan servicing, and that is in the that happens in the production of animes where they have girls showing a lot of skin, or they have guys who are like bulked out, like the ideal guy.
Not mine, but okay. I get what you're saying.
They sexualize the characters.
Yeah.
And that's where anime gets a bad rap with the church.
Yeah.
Not all anime is like that.
No.
And that's where, that's kind of where I look at people whenever they say anime is evil. And it's like, not all anime is like that.
Well, that's like...
most people don't even know the Speed Racer was an anime.
Yeah. But that's like... the cartoons and stuff that come out in America. You've got Adult Swim that has a ton of cartoons, but it ain't for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
You know, like some of that stuff I wouldn't dare watch because of the content. Artwork might be great, but the content, no. Like, it's
And,
horrible.
and that's what Adult Swim was kind of created for, was so that people wouldn't feel so bad about watching it.
Yeah.
Because they could do it at night when no one else is watching them.
Yeah.
But, God is always watching.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's getting to a point to where not so much in Japanese animes, but in animation in the rest of the world, where they are starting to put stuff into the animation that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get political, because let's face it, cartoons are getting political. But whenever it comes to just how dark they are, and how rebellious towards, parents they can be, and rebellious toward teachers, and how they treat people, and how they think, and how they act. These small messages that you're putting in animation that's meant for kids 10 and under.
Yeah.
It's like you realize the corruption that's coming from it.
Yeah.
That goes beyond a girl in a bikini.
Yeah.
Or someone wearing a crop top or just showing midriff. You're going into the occult. You're going into conspiracy theories. You're going into dishonoring people, dishonoring yourself.
Thing is, though,
and you're going, and you're going from something that seems wholesome from the outside to something that is very damaging.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that goes back to our scriptures. You got to seek honor in everything that you do. And there's going to be things out there, whether it's Japanese or American, that are not honorable, because that's the sin in the world. And as long as you find what is honorable and what is good and what is righteous, then that is what will point you to, on the right path and point you to God. So.
And that's where, whenever I do my reviews on Waku Waku, and if you aren't following me on Waku Waku, if you're not on the Waku Waku app, Waku Waku is a anime watch list app, and you can build your watch list, and you can keep track of your episodes on it, and people can see what you're watching, but you can also do reviews on it, and you can rate the animes. And if you read the reviews that I leave, on the ones that are very kid friendly, I don't say too awful much on the spiritual end. But on the ones that are a little bit more adult, and they go into realms of mythology from around the world, or they touch on different religious things, or they have a lot of fan servicing, or a lot of profanity, or a lot of violence, I will put that in there in the review, and down at the bottom I'll say, use discernment before watching.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact of, I'm going to give you an honest review of this anime.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you know what it contains. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of the storyline. But I'm going to let you know if you should use caution or not when watching it.
Well, they do that with all the movies and stuff like that, which is, it's good to have that, especially for parents who are wanting to, what do you call it? Filter out certain things, or guide their kids to learn how to, what to pick, what's good to pick and what's not good to pick, or what to stay away from and what not, what's okay to watch.
Well, hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll have the Patreon account up and running. But there are certain things that we're going to do on the Patreon account. Certain things that I've got ideas for, and I hope to get more ideas from you in K2 on different things to put on there. But two things that I'm already planning on wanting to put on there is anime reviews. But I would like to take requests from people on what animes that they want a deeper review on.
Yeah.
To give a critic's review, a parental review,
Yeah.
and a Christian review.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
review it from 3 different perspectives. That way you have all the information. So for parents, they will know what their kids are watching. For
That'd be nice for parents who have no idea.
yeah,
Like me. Half the time I don't know.
and then you have just a brief synopsis for people who are just interested in it and want a little more information on what it is. And then you have a Christian review where we're going to look at the spiritual impact side.
Spiritual
of it.
aspect of it.
Because a lot of stuff that's out there has to do with spiritualism.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about how a lot of animes like to have Christian symbolism in it, and that is because they find it fascinating. But do they keep the symbolism true, or do they distort it?
Yeah. Are they making fun of it, or are they
Are there
portraying
things,
it correctly?
Are there things that go against the Bible in the anime, or are there things like what we do in our episodes where we can learn from it? So those different types of things are going to be in the reviews. And for the Patreon account, for people who donate to the podcast on Patreon, they will have the ability to request reviews on specific things, like animes or movies or anything like that. They would be able to put in a request for a review, at which point, hopefully it's not too long if we haven't watched it, that we can watch it and build a review specifically toward that request. And then the other thing is unreleased episodes. There are certain episodes that are more on the mature side, on the spiritually mature side, and it's not something that is appropriate to release because it's harder to understand. It's like a deep Bible study. So those unreleased episodes will also be put onto the Patreon account for people to listen to. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks it'll be set up, and then that content will start becoming available. So
Sounds good.
whenever it comes to having knowledge of what you are watching yourself, or your kids are watching especially, it's good to have a little knowledge of it, because let's face it, nowadays, the majority of the time your kids are watching something, you have no idea what it is. And that's dangerous, because at that point, that is like the number one window from the world.
Yeah.
Social media and Hollywood, so to speak.
Yep.
But I know we got off on a little tangent, but that kind of spawns from how I rate stuff that I won't watch again.
Gotcha.
So there, like I said, there's a few, and if you go on Waku, you'll see which ones I won't watch again. I voice it very strongly.
And this is an app you can download?
It is an app. It's available on both Android and iTunes, iOS. It's called Waku, WAKU twice. And my profile name is Reverend Otaku 9000. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z reference.
Always.
But you can go on there, and I have well over 100 animes on there that are either rated or I'm in the middle of watching. So there's quite a bit on there. Like I said, each one has a brief synopsis, a quick parental rundown. It doesn't go into depth, and then whether or not I'd recommend it to be watched.
Okay.
But if you want to go deeper than that, when we have the Patreon account up, you will get a really deep review of it. Alright, any final thoughts?
I'm good.
No? Alright. So as we come to a close, let us remember Proverbs 21:21. Whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. Just as Vegeta learned to let go of his selfish pride and found true honor in loving and protecting his family, friends, and a new world. Let us pray. Father God, I thank you for your word, and I thank you for the ability to see your word in such a unique way. I thank you for the opportunity to use that unique medium to reach out into the world and to show you through anime. And God, as we wrap up today's episode, let us remember that you are with us in every story. And in this case, you were there to show us what true honor was. And whether we are in the real world or the animated world, I pray that you, Father God, will help us to see you in everything that we do and watch. Amen. Thank you for tuning into Revs Otaku Talk. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your chosen platform, and like and follow us on our Facebook page, Revs Otaku Talkers. X and Waku Waku, username Reverend Otaku 9000. Please leave a comment and review and share your favorite anime moments with us. Until next time, I hope you keep your anime collection strong and your faith stronger. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Well, the world's longest anime is an anime called Saze-san. Saze-san holds the record for the most episodes in anime history. First episode aired October 5th, 1969, and it had aired 8,540 episodes by the end of 2023, and it's still going strong. So if you didn't know before, now you know.